on our CO2 safety segment, I will be speaking with MacCARB. MacCARB is a family-owned and operated business that has expanded into markets of hospitality gas needs, big bulk, industrial gases, and specializes in on-demand gas supply, from California to New York. The business has been around since 1995, and MacCARB is also a proud partner of CO2Meter and a huge advocate when it comes to gas detection safety and CO2 safety monitoring. Here today, I am excited and honored to be with Dave McCarthy. Dave McCarthy is the Vice President at MacCARB, who has also been an incredible resource for CO2Meter with his industry expertise. Here, he's going to be taking some time out to share some true industry CO2 feedback with us all. I'm here today with Dave McCarthy, who is the Vice President at MacCARB. They are huge partners for us at CO2Meter, and I'm honored to have his time today. He's also been an incredible resource for us. So I'm excited to gain some true industry feedback. So thank you so much for joining us, Dave.
Thank you, Morgan, for having me.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into it then. Dave, could you give us just a little bit of insight to really the company and your role at MacCARB?
Sure. Just as you stated, we're a family-owned beverage gas distributor, specializing in the distribution of liquid carbon dioxide, primarily to the hospitality and food manufacturing sectors of our economy. We specialize in distribution of liquid CO2 into the micro bulk tanks, and as you said, into the large receivers that you would find at food manufacturers. Our micro bulk business is heavily embedded here in the Midwest, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Iowa, and our bulk gas business, as you said, spans from coast to coast, California, all the way over to New York. So, and our bulk gas division is been growing rapidly, especially over the past few years with the carbon dioxide shortages, given the current state of the market. So we've enjoyed supporting those food manufacturers, helping them to move product kind of from the Midwest to the coast to continue to help support their businesses. We also have a full service fleet of service technicians that install the micro bulk CO2 tanks, the large bulk CO2 tanks, CO2 detection systems, and telemetry remote monitoring systems. So that's kind of our niche. That hospitality and food manufacturing. Carbon dioxide is the gas that we primarily distribute the most. We do other gases, but CO2 is really what we specialize in. Again, we're a family-owned distribution company that has been doing it for about 3 generations now.
Wow. That's excellent, Dave. I know I see you guys continuing to expand, and I see you guys out there too, all across the internet in terms of your guys' resources as well for customers, which I think is just terrific in what you all are doing. But right. I always like to know from just an industry perspective, with yourself and your training, have you always been in the business, or how did you get to your current role at MacCARB?
Yes. My grandfather started the business many years ago, and unfortunately passed away suddenly from a heart attack, which left the business with my grandmother. My grandmother could not run that type of business by herself, so my father then purchased it from my grandmother a number of years ago, and started working in the CO2 business, and actually worked with Minnesota Valley Engineering, which is now Chart Industries. He worked with MVE and McDonald's Corporation on kind of the development of the first bulk CO2 tank, and installed the first bulk CO2 tank here in the Chicagoland market for McDonald's. And as you know today, micro bulk CO2 is pretty much the standard in the fast food industry and hospitality industry. So as I grew up, I was always around CO2 at my father's business. Started out filling CO2 cylinders in the warehouse, and then as I got older and was able to get my CDL, then we were out in the field making CO2 deliveries. CO2 installations of bulk tanks, and now vice president here at MacCARB, kind of overseeing our entire operation of micro bulk trucks, bulk gas trucks. We have about 85 employees, currently that we oversee to keep the beverages flowing and the fizz in everybody's biz.
That's incredible. So CO2 is all you've known.
Pretty much.
Pretty
Yep.
much. That's excellent. So let's talk about the gas a little bit, because that's what we're here to talk about. Obviously, incredibly vital, have to have it in these operations, especially in hospitality and beverage, as you know. But what about the safety? So obviously there are safety hazards at play when you're using these gases, when you're in these environments. What have you seen that's been the most valuable, Dave, just in terms of resource for your customers when it comes to gas detection safety?
Probably, just the big thing is educating people on the hazards of CO2. I've been around CO2 my entire life, and I'm still alive. So it can be dangerous, but if you understand the properties and the risks associated with handling and storing the carbon dioxide, you're going to be okay. Gas detection probably has really been at the forefront over the last probably maybe 7-8 years. Prior to that, the gas detection systems were not really around or always deployed. But as technology has advanced, these systems now can be manufactured at a much more affordable price point for the restaurants to install in their restaurants. And it just makes common sense. They're priced at a level that is affordable for the average restaurant to deploy it in their restaurant and keep their employees safe. So it really just makes sense now, and just making sure your customer understands that, hey, it's an asphyxiant, and understanding that it seeks the lowest level. And Josh Pringle at CO2Meter has been just a wealth of knowledge for us as well, and supporting our business, and helping us when we have questions that our customers are bringing to us, to be able to talk intelligently. So really, in my opinion, the biggest thing for the customers is just education on the product, because a lot of people just don't understand how it works.
I think that was perfectly said. I know awareness is always key. They're working with it, they understand its vitality, but not always the properties like you've mentioned, and getting the full scope when it comes to safety. I know that you did mention the gas detection monitoring, Dave, and you guys are a great partner of ours. You also provide us with so many resources when it comes to the gas itself and supplying. But what about CO2 monitoring solutions? Do you all use specific monitoring for your facilities or for customers you could touch base on for us?
We use your RAD product, the standard CO2 sensor in a lot of our restaurants, but we've also been expanding that into the CM7000 monitoring system that you guys have. As we've started to get into more of the industrial farming, agriculture, indoor agriculture, we'll call it, the CO2 safety sensors and systems become a lot more complicated. And the CM7000 product that you guys have has really been a great product for that, with the tablet and being able to show the customer the different zones and the levels in those zones. It's really been great. And we're also seeing in other parts of the country, such as Arizona and Colorado, the local fire departments and municipalities are requiring more than just a single sensor at the CO2 tank. They're requiring it to be tied into the fire alarm panel. They're requiring it at every point of use. So now you have to have one at the beer cooler, one at the soda dispenser in the drive-through, and it's expanding beyond more than just one sensor at the tank. And CO2Meter has been a great partner in developing those products that help us, to adapt to those different situations that we're seeing in the marketplace. And we kind of see it starting on the West Coast, and those requirements are continuing to move its way east. So, it's the complexity of the systems is just going to get a little bit more. It's going to become more as these different municipalities and the fire departments are requiring more detection in different areas of the restaurants, and it really stems from that the local municipalities and fire departments becoming educated themselves on the CO2 properties and stuff like that.
Sure.
And as they're understanding more about the CO2 and the product, they are putting some more requirements on the customer and the distributor. Not a bad thing. It's all in the name of safety. But I really like the CM7000 product you guys are putting out.
Thanks, Dave. No, that was a great insight, especially because it does vary. It's not just a one device fits all. It is very based on jurisdiction and industry, like you've mentioned. So you being able to span across, a large threshold, you're able to see that firsthand. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
you mentioning both. Super insightful. So last thing, Dave, being the industry expert that you are, if there was one thing that you could leave colleagues with, specifically in the beverage and hospitality industries, in terms of just advice on gas detection safety, I know you did mention awareness earlier. What would that be? Would there be anything additional you'd want these folks to know?
Leverage the company that is servicing your CO2. Talk to them. Sometimes we're the forgotten piece of equipment in the back of the restaurant that, as long as there's CO2 in that tank, nobody really reaches out to us or talks to us that much until they have a problem. So reach out to your local provider and talk to them about CO2 monitoring and the hazards, and leverage their expertise, and get a little bit more insight, and just on how they can keep their employees safe with the CO2 detection equipment. So it's just really talking to the people who you do business with, and getting their input. So that's what I would probably advise the customers to do, is just really talk a little bit more with your local provider about the safety side of CO2, and what they can do for your restaurant, and making it a safer environment.
Absolutely. Yes, we always push that as well. Your supplier is probably your first point of contact, and you have more resources than you might know. So I think that
Absolutely.
was great advice. So lastly, Dave, for those that would like to learn a little bit more on MacCARB, I know you gave us a lot of insight today, which was excellent. Where would they need to go? Or maybe they want to contact you specifically, if applicable. Where
Yeah,
could they
sure.
do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can certainly go to our website, www.maccarb.com. That's MACCARB.com. Or give us a call on our 800 number, 877-427-2499. We'll be happy to talk to you, and share our insight. And if you're looking for a solution, design a solution for you that meets your needs and keeps everybody safe.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dave. Again, it was such a great time speaking with you just briefly today. I think you did touch on a lot of great points, not just gas safety, but your insight in the industry, your perspective, and moreover, what you all are doing across multiple markets in the gas industry. So we appreciate your time, and also you being a valued partner for us.
Thank you, Morgan. And we value the partnership, as well as Josh has been just a tremendous resource for us, and love doing business with him.